Yes, people, Manscaped is back, but this time it's not for below the belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the Beard Hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The Beard Hedger is unique due to its number of gradient settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.
Morning, people. Hope you're well. Big up to everybody that's here bright and early. You're all legends. I see you all in the chat. Make sure you do me a favor and hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Once you've done those two things, we can get into it. There's lots of transfer news this morning, as always, around Europe and the Premier League. Lots of Arsenal news as well, which would be great to get into and talk to you guys about. Make sure you do me a favor also and check out last night's show. An elite panel with Kenny Ken, with Igal, with Alex from Forder on Football, with Gunnar Lee and with Premsy. A real good Arsenal debate about where we need to prioritise next and some of the rumours and some of the thoughts of some of those rumours as well. So make sure you join in the chat. Let's say good morning to the chat room and everybody else that's watching either live or on catch up. Good morning, Ash. Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Emerson. Good morning, Steve, Mustafa, One Love, Richard, Tony, Alex from Forder on Football, Matthew, and Ola, and everyone else that I've missed that's watching on catch up or that is here live but isn't in the chat room. I hope you're all well, guys. I really do. It's been a warm one yesterday, and I think it's going to stay warm for most of this week and then potentially get a little bit cooler towards the weekend. So enjoy the summer because it won't be out forever. Trust me. We're going to start with, we're going to end with some Arsenal news, which I'm sure you'll all be very excited about. As always, we are going to start with the rumours that broke yesterday, if you remember. As we were about to wrap up, David Ornstein dropped an Ornstein bomb in relation to Viktor Osimhen. Now, Viktor Osimhen is somebody that Arsenal have been linked with for a while. He's somebody that I definitely had my eyes on at the end of the last season, where I thought he was one of the best strikers around. I still rate him. I still think he's a talent. And if Chelsea can get involved with this could be the some signing of the summer and the deal of the summer for me. And the reason being, he's not going to cost 115 million like most people thought. It actually is going to involve a loan with an option. Now, some of the reports are suggesting that this is not going to happen. There has been some mixed reports, but David Ornstein is never normally wrong. He's been wrong a few times. I'll give him that. He's not as reliable, I don't think, as some people seem to think, but he's getting to the stage where he doesn't get much wrong now. Over the years, he has. I must say, though, that this one would be an incredible deal. And it does involve Romelu Lukaku going the other way. Now, from what we can read and understand, Conte wants Lukaku. He is the new Napoli boss. Osimhen wants to leave Napoli. And after signing a new contract last year, there was a gentleman's agreement, it seems, that he was allowed to leave the club. Now, it looks like Lukaku's going to go to Napoli permanently and Osimhen is going to go to Chelsea on loan with an option to buy. Now, I don't know what that option is going to be. Maybe they believe he's going to bang in loads and loads of goals, so they're going to say, well, if you want to buy him, then he's 115 million or whatever the hell they want for him. But this could be a brilliant deal for Chelsea to get Osimhen on loan for a season, a try before you buy. That, for me, is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I cannot believe that there is an opportunity for Chelsea to get Osimhen on loan. It just makes no sense. I just find it bizarre. I really do. I think it is unbelievable that there is a chance for Chelsea to get Osimhen on loan. And they get rid of Lukaku, who, let's be real, they do not want. So I think it's going to be interesting. Does Osimhen want Chelsea? Are these rumours and reports true? We still don't know, but David Ornstein believes so, and he's fairly reliable. So I expect there to be some movement on this. I expect if it's not true, then Osimhen will say, I don't want to go to Chelsea, or I only want to be sold there. I don't want a loan option. That could potentially happen. But at the moment, it's looking like Chelsea are in favourites and pole position to sign Osimhen, which for me would be a brilliant signing for them and one of the deals of the summer. Now, Chelsea need players like this. They can't keep signing kids. They've got to go and get ready now players. They've got to go and get win now players. And Viktor Osimhen would be one of them. He would just be the start. They would need a lot more than that, but he would be the start. So yeah, I think this one got some legs. I could not believe when I heard it yesterday, and it looks now as if, yeah, potentially this one could happen. So keep an eye on what David Ornstein's saying. He's the one who reported it first. So I believe there's an opportunity for this one to happen. Before I go any further, I did forget one thing. Please make sure you support our sponsors, Manscaped. It's pinned in the comments. All you've got to do is click on the link and you'll get 20% off of the Beard Hedger. So select the Beard Hedger. You'll see 20% has come off of it and you can purchase that. I must not forget that. So please make sure you do that, people. Let's talk about this player. I don't know anything about him. However, Chelsea and Villa have submitted offers for the 21-year-old Bayern Leverkusen and Germany forward, Maximilian Beier. Now, I don't know him well enough to know how good he is. Lots of people saying he's a wonder kid. Arsenal should be all over him. I don't know anything about him. If anybody else knows anything about how good he is, please do let me know, because I am not sure how good he is. But Aston Villa and Chelsea certainly like him. So let's see. He has not played that many games, I don't believe. But when he has played in the Bundesliga for Hoffenheim in the 23-24, which I guess is where he's on loan, he has scored 16 goals in 33 games, which isn't too bad for a 21-year-old forward. So, yeah, he is a player who a lot of people are looking out for at the moment. So if anyone knows much about him, please let me know, because this could be a player that's highly, highly rated. Now, at 21, I don't think Chelsea need any more of them. But Aston Villa are also interested. Now, this is a good question. If you're a player and money don't matter and footballing matters, do you go Chelsea or Villa? Real question. Because Villa are a massive club. Villa look like they're back. Unai Emery's taking them forward. Their squad's building. I think there's better opportunity over at Villa. You're going to play Champions League football. You've got a brilliant manager. You've got great players around you. They're building Sank over there. Chelsea, I don't know if Maresca's going to make it past Christmas. I really honestly believe that if Max Beer was somebody who was looking at these two options, I'd choose Villa. I would choose Villa. And that's mad, isn't it? I would never have chosen Villa under Roman Abramovich. I would have gone to Chelsea. But I honestly believe Villa would be a better option for him. But that's just me. Talking of young players and young Chelsea players, they've done it again. They look like they're going to sign Mike Penders, 18-year-old from Genk. Dutch reports are suggesting that the Belgian goalkeeper has agreed to move to Chelsea for £16 million or just over. Another goalkeeper. I mean, what are Chelsea doing here with goalkeepers? They've got Penders. They're linked with Philip Jorgensen. They're linked with another goalkeeper. They've also already got Petrovic and Sanchez. Maybe they're doing the whole 4 or 5 goalkeepers like Arsenal are looking to do. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. But he's a youngster and one for the future. They highly rate him and they think he is a player that is going to take them forward in the future. So you've got to trust what Chelsea are doing and believe that they know what they're doing. Although, in my opinion, I have some serious doubts, in my opinion, that they know what is happening. So that's that. Talking of young players, let's talk about one that we know very, very well. For maybe the negative reasons, it looks as if Manchester United are close to signing Chido Obi-Martin. According to Fabrizio Romano, the 16-year-old Danish youth international forward is close to joining Manchester United, who have apparently doubled and almost tripled what Arsenal were going to offer him. He was demanding an unbelievable amount of wages, and I know for a fact that it was definitely more than the 30 that Man United have offered. So I don't know that it will accept it there. I think this is going to potentially happen. It's been too many rumours now to suggest that Man United aren't going to get this kid. And I really hope he's a flop. I really do. But I hear good things about him. And I hear that they believe he is going to be a top talent. So I don't know where people's heads are at with this one. Do we want to keep him? Do we want him to go? Well, he's gone. Looks like he's off to Manchester United. There are clubs in Germany that he's talking to as well. But Chido Obi-Martin was very highly rated, banging goals in for fun, scoring goals in 5s and 7s and 10s. Well, good luck to him. Let's see if he can go and do that. for a 16-year-old to pay him more wages than Emil Smith-Rowe, that was a madness offer. But fair play to him. He's got some balls, if that's what he believes. If he's got that confidence, then clearly he's going to be a good player if he's got that mentality. So let's see what he's like. He could be the next Saka. He could be the next Jeremy Aliadier. Who knows? I'm sure he'll go and have a career in football. I just don't know what level it'll be at yet. So that one could be interesting. But Manchester United favourites to sign him. Let's see if there is an opportunity for that to happen. Talking of Manchester United, they're trying to get Adrien Rabiot, it seems. Now, I'm not sure what I think about this one. They're working to reach an agreement with the out-of-contract France midfielder Rabiot, who's 29 years old. He left Juventus this summer. And there's a lot of problems that people report about his mentality. Now, I don't know nothing about the kid. I've no idea. All I hear is that he is a bit of a loose cannon, a bit of a hot head, and it's not something you want to add to a toxic dressing room or a dressing room that's good that potentially could turn it toxic or sour. Now, Liverpool apparently were interested, but Adrien Rabiot's got his heart set on Manchester United, and Manchester United ears have pricked up. 29 years old, midfielder that can play in more of a box-to-box role and definitely can be more of a defensive role if need be. He's a player that I've always liked but never loved, if that makes sense. I can appreciate that he's got good talent, but I've never loved the player. Manchester United need midfielders. Ugarte is being linked, and I can see that one potentially happening. If Rabiot comes in as well, Amrabat looking like they could loan him again. With Kobe Mainu, Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes, they're starting to stack their midfield. Scott McTominay is one that we'll come on to in a minute that might be out, but other than that, they've got a good midfield there. I really believe that. You know, Amrabat showed quality in the World Cup. You've got Adrien Rabiot, who's highly rated and has been for a while now. Kobe Mainu is going to be an absolute baller. Bruno Fernandes will be complemented by those type of players as long as the midfield is stable. And you've still got Mason Mount, who's yet to kick a ball, really, for Manchester United. So I do think that there's an opportunity for Man United to get their midfield and their central defence sorted this window. It looks like their defenders they're bringing in, it's going to be De Ligt, it's going to be Lenny Yoro. There's talks of Branthwaite as well that could happen still. And obviously, they're looking at the midfield being stacked. So that really only leaves the wide players and up top. They've got Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund, but for me, I feel like they need an Ivan Toney. And then if they can keep hold of Sancho and Rashford and get something out of them, then fair play. But if not, they're going to need a wide man because Sancho looks like he could be off. And Rashford, well, let's talk about him next. Because Ruud van Nistelrooy is trying to get Rashford back to his best after making an instant impact on his Manchester United return. Now, I've always said this about Marcus Rashford, overhyped, in my opinion. Good player, not a world-class player. I don't believe that Rashford will go to the very, very top. Now, at the age of, 26? I don't think you can look now and say that Marcus Rashford is going to be a world beater. I've never, ever seen it. When he first come on the scene, I thought there was a slight glimpse of an opportunity that he could be something special. But I never believed that there was the opportunity to him to be a Kylian Mbappe or Thierry Henry like some were doing. He's not a striker. He's definitely not a 9. He can't really play on the right or in the middle. He literally is just a left winger that is a very expensive left winger. Now, he did get 15 goals along with Martinelli, I think, in the season before last, but last season has a dip. And that is Marcus Rashford all over. One good season, you think, Christ, 14 goals. Wow, he's back. And then he gets 3 the next season. Then he got 15 goals, and then this season wanted to get like 4 goals. It's crazy for me. So I personally, if I'm Man United, you give him one more year to say, right, are you going to do this for us? And then if not, under a new structure, he might have to leave. So Ruud van Nistelrooy working on Marcus Rashford. One player that is definitely linked with a move away, but they keep rejecting it at the moment, is Scott McTominay. Fulham very interested in this player. Galatasaray interested in this player also. But it doesn't look like they can meet an evaluation and agree a price. I don't think he's worth more than 25 million, is he, Scott McTominay? Let's be real. They want about 40. I mean, you'd be lucky to get 20 if I'm honest. So that is going to be... You've got to be realistic about this. I understand the market's gone mad, but you've still got to be realistic about it. You cannot be demanding 40 or 50 million for bang average players. And Arsenal are in that boat as well. So we've got to be realistic with this now, guys. We really have to. It's getting rather silly, in my opinion. So, we'll see what progress is there with Manchester United. But if Man United continue, they get their midfield and defence sorted. They've got Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund. If one or two of them can bang, Rashford can come back to form. Man United can push for top 4, 100%. There's no reason why they can't. Absolutely, they can. One player I've always appreciated and always felt was a bit of an underrated player that goes under the radar is 33-year-old German midfielder Pascal Groß. Now, Borussia Dortmund have agreed a deal for 5.9 million to allow him to leave. I think Brighton will miss him. And I actually worry where Brighton are going. And I shouldn't do that because Brighton are a well-run club. But they've got a manager I don't know much about. They've lost a lot of their players now. And I can't help but think that Brighton could potentially be in a situation a little bit like Southampton, where they were floating around Europe and then Liverpool nicked all their players. It looks like clubs have just completely gutted them out now. There's links with Mitoma, Caicedo's gone, Bissouma's gone, Alexis McAllister has gone, Pascal Groß has now gone. They've lost Ben White, they've lost Trossard. How many more Brighton players are going to leave before they're going to actually struggle? So I wonder if Brighton could be in trouble this season. But they're a team that just keeps surprising me. Brighton are a team that keeps surprising me. Don't be surprised if Brighton end up 8th or 9th again. I mean, it's crazy to think what they've been doing. They're a well-run club and their scouting system is just the absolute nuts. So let's see what happens there. The next player we're going to talk about is Crysencio Summerville, who at the moment has no real club, a real one club anyway, heavily rumoured. The nearest is West Ham, but they're on the verge of pulling out of the race for the Dutch Leeds winger Summerville, who's only 22 years old. And according to TalkSport, they are no longer looking at him. But there have been players previously that were very much so interested. Chelsea interested, Brighton interested. Who else was interested? Chelsea, Brighton, Liverpool also very interested, as well as West Ham. Is he going to leave? Well, he's one of the Championship's best players. I imagine that there's going to be a lot of people that would be very, very interested in Summerville. I really rate him, but is he the level that's needed? Not in my opinion for Arsenal, but I think for West Ham or Everton or maybe even Newcastle would be a fantastic signing. So keep an eye on this one. I believe this has legs. I think he wants out of Leeds. I think he wants Premier League football. So let's see what happens there. Okay, news of another rumour, which involves Aston Villa this time. They have expressed interest in the Crystal Palace 27-year-old French striker, Mateta. Mateta was unbelievable at the back end of last season. He was a player that caused an absolute nuisance and havoc and was scoring goals for fun for Palace. Never rated him, never thought he was outstanding. Always thought he had a little something about his physique and his stature and his aerial ability, but I never was set on him. But it looks like Aston Villa are. Now, Aston Villa have got Ollie Watkins. They're looking to sell Duran. They're going to need a backup striker to Watkins or someone that can complement Watkins. And if you remember Unai Emery's system and formation last season, had Watkins alongside a Diaby or a Leon Bailey, would they be able to tempt Mateta to join Ollie Watkins up front, which I think could be a real good partnership? Aston Villa are doing bits, people. So, yeah, watch what happens here. I'm going to be interested to see if Palace are going to be selling him as well as Elise, as well as Eze, as well as Gehi, as well as Wharton, who are all wanted by clubs. So Palace could be gutted. Let's see what happens. Let's talk about this guy, because this is a forgotten man. This is someone I actually thought was going to have a very, very good career and has done well at Roma. 26-year-old Tammy Abraham. Everton are considering a bid for him. Watch what happens here. Reports in Italy are suggesting that Everton want Tammy Abraham. I think this would be a brilliant signing for them. I know he had injury problems, but he's back better now. He was only 2 years ago. He was the top scorer in Europe as far as English players were concerned, even more than Harry Kane. For me, I think he has a very, very good opportunity to do a very good signing for somebody like Everton, for somebody like Brentford, for somebody like Fulham. I think this is a great opportunity. So I think he has still got something about him. So watch what happens. I think he's a good player. I've never really not liked him. I always thought he had something. Whether it's enough to get excited about, but we'll see. Everton, let's be real, they need players. You know, they've got DCL, and that is pretty much it up top. So they definitely need a Tammy Abraham in their life, that's for sure. Fulham is the latest team that we're going to talk about, because they are trying all they can to secure a deal with Fluminense for the Brazilian midfielder Andre, who's only 23 years old, highly rated. They are trying to replace Paulinho. They're obviously linked with Scott McTominay as well. Are they going to look to go for both? Well, at the moment, Scott McTominay is not looking likely because the agreement can't be in place. So maybe, just maybe, they will go over to Fluminense and see if they can get Andre for a reasonable price, who is younger and has more potential. And probably has more ability on the ball, to be fair, and more physical presence than Scott McTominay from what you read. So this one could be very interesting, to keep your eyes peeled on that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about West Ham. West Ham are desperate for a striker. It looks like John Duran is not going to happen, but this rumour won't go away. Nicholas Füllkrug is a guy that at the moment they believe they can get, and Borussia Dortmund are looking or considering at least the bids that are going to come in. Now, West Ham feel they can probably get this one done. And I must say, if this does happen, I think it's a very good signing. The Evening Standard are reporting that they have entered talks over a possible deal to sign Nicholas Füllkrug. I don't think he is a very bad signing at all. I think this could be a very good signing for West Ham. And I think for ages now, they've wanted a striker. They've kept Antonio. They've tried with Sebastian Haller. They've tried with Scamacca, and they've never really managed to get one to settle. Maybe Füllkrug is their guy if John Duran is not going to leave Aston Villa. Well, or if he's not going to leave Aston Villa for that price anyway, then perhaps they can look to get Nicholas Füllkrug involved, who I think would be a phenomenal signing. I really do. But there is a striker that is probably one of the better strikers available in the market at the moment that does want to leave Manchester City. Julian Alvarez has made it very clear that he wants first-team football. Now, Manchester City, I believe, don't want to let him go. I have a gut feeling that if he does go, it will be abroad. I don't think it will stay in England. I think it will be a foreign club that comes in and says they want to take him, maybe in Atletico Madrid, or maybe there's even rumours that there'll be a German club after Julian Alvarez. For me, I think Manchester City should do all they can to keep him, because I think he's perfect for when Haaland's not about. But it looks like he wants to go, and you can't keep a player if he doesn't want to stay at the club. He wants first-team football. He doesn't believe like he's starting enough games. When he has played, he hasn't really been the number 9. He's kind of been, a little bit of a bit part player, I suppose, for Manchester City. Some players like that. Some players like to be involved in winning teams trophies, and they're not interested in being the big fish. But I think he wants to be first team now. And he's not old. He's in his 20s, he's early 20s, and he's a player that a lot of people rate. And he was a player that when he came to Manchester City, I had no idea what he was about. And it was bang, 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 goal, goal, goal. So I think he'd be a good signing. Chelsea and Arsenal were sniffing around him. Man City aren't going to sell him to another English club, in my opinion. I think he'll go abroad if he does go at all. But I think there's also strong rumours that Pep Guardiola can try and convince him to stay. So I think it could be a real interesting one, this. That's for sure. Let's end with some Arsenal news, because, of course, there is reports that Mikel Merino is agreeing terms with Arsenal. Sports Zone and a few other reports are suggesting that Arsenal have reached an agreement on personal terms on a 4-year contract with Mikel Merino. The next step will be to find an agreement with Real Sociedad on a price. Now, the price apparently is around 20 to 25 million pounds. This should not be a really, really hard deal to get done. There's no way this should not happen now. He wants Arsenal. Arteta wants Merino. Marino's made it clear that Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, although he would love to stay in Spain and seek another move there, Arsenal is where apparently he has set his heart on. So Mikel Arteta has clearly sold him the dream. He's going to now agree personal terms with us, which, let's be real, won't be a lot of money. It won't be like he'll be on 200 grand a week. Not sure how much he'll be on, but I don't think it'll be anywhere near that. And Mikel Merino looks as if he will be an Arsenal player next. And there was reports from Romano, wasn't there, that after we sold Smith-Rowe and signed Calafiori, Merino would be the next target. And it looks like he's right again, because we are agreeing personal terms, or have agreed personal terms with Mikel Merino. And I think he will be our next signing. So that is our left 8. We've got our left back. That left-hand side is starting to look stronger already. All we need now, in my opinion, is to sort out the attacking options and potentially a striker. So maybe 2 more after Calafiori and Merino. I think something like Eze and a Gyökeres, I think, would be a good sign, a good window for Arsenal. But we'll get into that very, very soon. Mikel Merino, I think, will be the Xhaka replacement. I think it will be one that we haven't actually replaced last year, and he'll come in and he'll be the 8. Rice, when he has to play the 6, Merino will play there. Merino will come in as rotation for Rice whenever Partey is not about or wherever Rice needs a break. I think he will get a lot of game time, particularly with the amount of games that Arsenal are going to play next season. People forget the Champions League games are longer. We're looking at all 4 competitions now. We want to go far in every single competition. So we're going to need a squad. We can't have the same 12 players anymore. We've got to have, 18, 19 players now that are going to have to be a part of this squad. So for me, I think it would be really good news. Let's talk about this guy because David Ornstein tweeted last night that Marseille have improved their offer to sign Eddie Nketiah from Arsenal. The new bid, nearing £20 million, which works out about £16.5 million. 20 million euros, which is £16.5 million, is similar to the previous but closer to the formula Arsenal want. Likely to be deemed unrealistic, but talks are ongoing and a 5-year contract has been agreed. The 25-year-old is keen on Marseille. So Eddie Nketiah wants Marseille. That's great. Arsenal are willing to sell him. But £17 million? Are we being serious here? This is where Arsenal have been terrible at trying to sell players at times. The Smith-Rowe one, I get it. 35 million, cool. Eddie Nketiah should be a minimum of 25 million. There's no way we should be accepting 17 million. So I can understand why that one has been rejected. It just is a madness to me. Other reports are suggesting that the bid is not much different to what they have spoken about before. So I imagine they probably wanted to get him for around about, between 10 and 15, and then improved it to just under 17. And we're going to keep going until we get over 20. That's what I think will probably happen. But Marseille continued to work on a deal for Eddie and remain in conversations with Arsenal. Should they strike a deal, Nketiah has already agreed a 5-year contract with Marseille and is keen to join head coach Roberto De Zerbi. So he wants to go. He's definitely up for it. But I do not want to keep Eddie Nketiah. However, he is clearly worth more than between 15 and 20 million pounds. If you look around the striker market, if John Duran is 32 million pounds, then Eddie Nketiah is too. That's all I'm saying. I don't rate him. I don't like him. I don't think he's a phenomenal talent. I think he's an all-right striker. Nothing more than that. I think he will be scoring goals over in Ligue 1, and I don't think he'll be a bad player. But for me, there is no way, no way that he is a 15 to 16 million pound player. For me, you go and take as close as you can to 20 with add-ons. That's what I think you do. And I always said it will be about 25 million. People were saying it will be 50 million euros. It's not going to be. It's not going to be. We'll sell Eddie Nketiah eventually for about 25 million tops. That'll be what'll happen, I think. So, yeah, Marseille want him. They have to pay the money, don't they? That's the way I see it. So what happens to Arsenal in the striker situation? Well, there is some news this morning about Viktor Gyökeres. And according to the Mirror, Sporting Lisbon have had to pay they've paid to reduce Coventry City sell-on clause from 15% to 10% for any future deal involving the 26-year-old Sweden forward Viktor Gyökeres, who is wanted by Arsenal. Now, why would they do that if he's not leaving? That to me is a strange one. Now, it doesn't mean he's leaving definitely this summer. It means he's probably not got a future at Sporting Lisbon if they're paying to do that. That for me means that he might be off this summer. And I think Arsenal should be all over this one. Now, they want a release clause, which is £100 million or 100 million euros, should I say, which works out at £84 million. Is that too much for a striker of his caliber? Well, it's a lot of money. But if he's going to come over and win Arsenal the league, then it ain't a lot of money, is it? For me, you're not going to get a striker that's in the world-class bracket or that's in the top-class bracket for anything less than 70 to 80 million. So for me, it's probably about right. For what he's done and what he's scored, 58 goals and assists in 50 games last season is incredible. 25 goals and assists the previous season for Coventry in 30 games or more is incredible. This is a guy that's on form. This is a guy I would take. This is a guy that isn't just someone who just walks around the pitch and just knocks them in, which, to be fair, is probably what Arsenal need, to be honest. But in my opinion, this is a player that has more of an all-round game. He's good at carrying the ball. He's good in the air. He's got good link-up play. He's not afraid to get on the ball. He's not afraid to track back. He can use both of his feet. He can score all types of goals. I think he'd be a really good signing for Arsenal. And if Eddie is going to go, we do need a striker. I mean, we need one anyway. But if Eddie's going to go, it leaves you Havertz and Jesus. And people will say, well, Havertz can play there, and Jesus can play there, and Trossard can play there, and Martinelli can play there, even though he never has. Let's be real. We need a striker, guys. We need a striker. If we're going to get rid of Eddie, we get in Gyökeres. If we need to get rid of Nelson, we get a replacement in. Smith-Rowe goes, we need a replacement in. So let's just be real about it. Those three were on the bench every single game last season. That means we need 3 more players that are going to come in that are going to be on the bench if they are going to be sold. So watch what happens with Viktor Gyökeres. This could be a really interesting one for sure. The other one that could be interesting that we spoke about last night is Leroy Sané. Now, I said ages and ages ago when that mystery German player on TikTok was going viral, I said, I hope it's Leroy Sané or Joshua Kimmich because they're the only two that I can see that are realistic. Now, if you wanted me to say which German player would I have, I'd take Musiala, but it isn't going to be him, is it? It isn't going to be Florian Wirtz. It isn't going to be somebody worse than that. It isn't going to be someone that's less exciting like a Jonathan Tah or Nicolas Soule or somebody like that. So for me, I thought it was going to be one of 2 players. Joshua Kimmich, who we've been linked with before because we need a DM and a midfielder that can play 8. Or Leroy Sané because we need a winger. And we know the relationship that Mikel Arteta and Leroy Sané had at Manchester City. Sané said that he was obsessed with Mikel Arteta and thought he was amazing. And Arteta said he thought Leroy Sané was one of the best. Now, he's 28 years old. He's on 280k a week, which means if he was to come to Arsenal, he would probably equal Kai Havertz, which is the top wage earner at Arsenal. Now, people get confused by that and get worried by that and start thinking, he can't be on that much money. He's 28. 28's not an old player. 28 is a ready-made, experienced head who's won everything in the game. Leroy Sané destroyed Arsenal at the Emirates on the right and the left that he can play. He's got, in the last few seasons, 17, 12 and 18 goals and assists. That is not a player that you look and sniff at and say, nah, don't want him. He's terrible. He's finished. Well, his stats have proven that he's not finished, in my opinion. He's still a very good player. I think he could be 100% the player that we're after. And if we do not go in for Eze, which is the one that I want, because he can play in the Ødegaard position, the Saka position, and the left 8 position, then I think we should go for him. I really do. I think that it would be a good signing. Now, people get worried, don't they? You get these Arsenal accountants. Oh my God, he's beyond 200 and so a week. So what? Jesus is on that, and he doesn't play. Like, this is what happens in football. Football is growing. We are going to be in a scenario soon where players are earning 300 or 400,000 pounds a week that aren't even playing. That's just the way football's going. People will be on £1 million a week one day, like Mbappe and Haaland and all these. It's going to happen. Get used to it, guys. Don't get worried about it. It's not your money. It's just the way the money's going in the game. And I don't like it. I thought money was going to ruin football, and it definitely is, in my opinion. However, don't go and find another sport because that's the way it's going. That is the route it's going. With all this Saudi Arabian stuff, it's just going to get worse, in my opinion. So for me, I want Eze or Pedro Neto, but Sané would be a fantastic signing. Trust me. There are a lot of people that I call Arsenal accountants that get worried about this. Oh, well, that means if Saliba wants a new contract, he'll want 300k a week. Yes, it will. So what? Saka will want another contract. He'll want to be on 300k a week. Yep, correct. That is what's going to happen. You think that Saliba and Saka are going to sign a new deal and go, right, how much are you giving me? Well, sorry, guys, Havertz is already on 280. You're right if you just take 180. They're going to go, no. I want what he's on. I want more than what he's on. So I think Sané might take a little bit of a cut. He might say, look, I'm happy to take a cut here. I'm not going down to anything less than 250, but I'm happy to come to Arsenal. I reckon he'll be available for around about 45, 50 million. If we think that's good money, go for it. If not, then go for Eze, who will actually be more money than Sané because he's got a release clause that needs activating at 60 to plus 8, so 68 million. So you either pay 68 million and put Eze on a decent wage, or you pay 280k a week or 250k a week for Sané, but get him for cheaper at around 40 to 45. What do you do? I would go with Eze still because, one, he's a bit younger and he's versatile. He's got more about his game, in my opinion. I like Sané a lot, and I think he is an out-and-out winger. He can play in the middle. He can play as a 10 or as an attacking 8, but I don't think he's quite as good there. And Eze, I think, is just a no-brainer for me. I love the kid. I think he's going to be superb. He has so impressed me. He really has. So, yeah, I think that could be an option for us for sure. So what do I think? The goalkeeping situation at the moment, I would not touch. I would leave it. We don't need any more goalkeepers. If Ramsdale isn't going to get any offers, he stays. And that is a stronger situation than him going. In defence, we're sorted now. Calafiori has managed to sort our left-hand side out. Mikel Merino looks to be the next signing. That sorted our left 8 out. Potentially, we need another midfielder. And if it is Eze, then it's great. Because he can play in midfield, attacking midfield, and on the left-hand side or right-hand side. And then Viktor Gyökeres. If we get, after Merino, Eze and Gyökeres, this will be one of the best transfer windows we've had in a long time. Because we can cover everything. We've got Gyökeres, Havertz, Jesus up top. On the right-hand side, we'll have Saka, but we'll also have Eze. Left-hand side, Trossard and Martinelli. You've got Eze to back up Ødegaard in the number 10. You've got Declan Rice and Merino for the number 8s. You've got Jorginho, Partey and Rice in the number 6. At the back, you've got Calafiori that can now back up at left back and back up Gabriel. You've also got Timber and Tomiyasu and Zinchenko that can play left back. You've got Timber and Tomiyasu that can play and cover for Ben White at right back. And then you've got Timber that can cover for Saliba at right centre-back as well. And you've got your 2 goalkeepers in Ray and Ramsdale. No excuses. We get these 2 players after Merino, Eze and Gyökeres, we're sorted, mate. We'll go for all 4 competitions because we've got 2 players in every position. And that's what we need. Nelson leaving, Eze's an upgrade. With Eddie going, Gyökeres is an upgrade. With Smith-Rowe going, Eze is an upgrade. And then if you look in the midfield, Merino is what? The replacement for El Neni. That's a massive upgrade. Calafiori is definitely better than the mess that we had at left back the whole of last season where we were chopping and changing it. For me, we've got to cover in every single position. Now, it's time. Go and get these last 2 signings after Merino. And I think Arsenal could be expecting a very good season. And I've got no excuses or defence about, well, we didn't win because. No. Silverware. Now's the time. Now is the time. Win a trophy, Mikel. Win a trophy. Go all out in February, March to win that Carabao Cup. Go do it. And then allow yourself to be at the same time breeding confidence by winning, by going for one of the big ones. And that is, of course, the Champions League or the Premier League. It's time. There's no more process waiting, no more patience needed, no more give it another couple of years. We still need more transfer windows. I said it before, this guy's had more transfer windows than anybody I know. More windows than Microsoft is what I said once, and it went a bit viral and everyone laughed. Trust me, no more transfer windows after this one. No more, we need a few more. No more, we need a few more players. We've got to get this done, 100%. Let's get it across the line. And I hope that Mikel Arteta can do it, because if he doesn't do it, there'll definitely 100% be a lot of consideration as to what we go with next. And I do not want to be in a scenario where we're all arguing on stream about why Mikel Arteta should be replaced because he can't win a trophy. Let's just put that to bed by him doing that at the end of it and shut everybody up and go, here you go, I've won something now. How about you shut up? Because since he's won that FA Cup, he's gutted the whole team out. He spent a lot of money on it and it's won nada. So we've got to get across that line, man. We've got to. And that's where we'll leave it. Listen, got a good show later on this evening, 5 p.m. Set your notifications because it's myself and Tom Canton. So please make sure that you are going to join us for that one at 5 p.m. It's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to it. And I'll probably be back this evening as well, doing some Arsenal news, anything that's reported in the day. So please set your reminders for that one. Make sure you support our sponsors, Manscaped. Make sure that you are hitting that link, going and ordering some beard hedger, the best beard trimmers that you will get 20% off at the moment. Please make sure you do that, but you've got to use that link, otherwise the 20% won't come off. So if you do need the code, it's FTM20, but it should do it automatically for you. So if you click on the link and take you straight to beard and face, beard hedger, and then you'll add it to your cart and see when you go to the checkout that 20% has come off. And that is a great deal at the moment. So please make sure you do that, people. Right, we'll see you next time. Take it easy. 5 p.m. Myself and Tom Canton. We'll see you then. Take it easy. Latest, people.
Yes, people, Manscaped is back. But this time, it's not for below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the Beard Hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The Beard Hedger is unique due to its number of gradient settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.